Get ready for the Squawking Eagles Podcast, the show that covers only the Philadelphia Eagles. Think different. Think Squawking Eagles Podcast.
Hello, and welcome to the Squawking Eagles Podcast. I am Mike, your host, and I'm joined again by Miguel.
Let's go.
Whatever that was. And me. Hello.
Man, let's go. Even though I got a
Macho Man.
Even though I got a Hulk Hogan t-shirt on. Macho Man, it's WrestleMania week coming up. Let's go. I'm excited.
T-minus like 7 days, I think, right? 7 days, so like the weekend starts, and
7 days.
WrestleMania 40 happening at Philadelphia, the
Lincoln Financial Field. Yes, sir.
If you listened to our podcast, I guess months ago when they released the tickets, we bought tickets live. I think, were we recording when you were buying those tickets?
I think I was.
I'm pretty sure you were. Yeah. So that was fun.
Yeah.
But Miguel's going to be going. So this week we have our podcast. We'll have a few things to talk about. We have some rule changes. We will discuss Saquon Barkley's appearance on the New Heights podcast, and then we have some voicemail hot take to go over. Again, if you want to leave a message on the voicemail, our phone number is 267-293-6963. Also, you can follow us over on Instagram, Squawking Eagles Podcast, where you can also find that phone number there. So let's get into it. But this is, I guess, we are 4 weeks away from the NFL draft. There's been kind of like a lull in free agency, and there has been things that have been changed to the NFL that we would like to discuss. 3 rules changes. A really big one with the kickoff. A player's how to tackle another player, and a rule and a challenge rule. So let's dive into the first rule change, where it's the kickoff. The kickoff it's modified. It's called the modified kick rule, and it's adapted from the XFL. So there's a landing zone between the end zone and the 20-yard line. The kicker kicks from the 45, I think it is, and I guess the special teams, like, they line up at the 40-yard line, the 40-yard line opposite each other, and they can't really move or run until the ball is. It seems like it's halfway in the air. It says
understood it was caught.
Let me just read it.
Yeah, it's kind of.
If kick doesn't reach the landing zone, ball placed at the 40-yard. If it goes out of the end zone or flies into the end zone and is down, ball is at the 35. If it hits the landing zone and rolls into the end zone and is down, ball is at the 20. So balls can hit the ground and roll into the end zone. If it's caught in the landing zone, it must be returned. So you have to run it back. So I'm guessing they moved the ball back a little bit for the kickoffs.
Moved it up.
And so
If they moved it up, it's always going to give you a touchback.
It's going to be a touchback.
Every kicker in the NFL can reach past that now. So it's going to be a bunch of standing around. Before you know it, they're going to just remove it from the game.
They're getting close to it because they're afraid of people getting hurt.
And yet they still let crappy turf in the NFL.
So supposedly this was supposed to open up the return game again. Like it was supposed to.
Yeah, because it's supposed to limit because no one can come back to tackle you. However, if every kicker can kick it right out of the back of the end zone, no one's going to get a return.
So they should have moved it back more. So they are going to have more opportunities to have a return. What are the thing they're trying to do is avoid any kind of injuries during that this that's what they're doing.
Right. They're get rid of concussions on kickoff. The high speed running into each other at full speed. That's what they're trying to get rid of.
Maybe they just shouldn't play football.
maybe they shouldn't play football. I don't think, because then we would be like out of like a job here. Like what would we be talking about?
Well, I mean,
right?
We're not going to be talking about
if it's
the
rigged,
Eagles.
who cares?
Okay, Mark is another world right now. This is not the Mark you're familiar with. This is a different Mark.
Not at all.
A Mark that is
annoyed with the NFL right now.
He's very annoyed. Okay, you're annoyed about also a few other things about the NFL that aren't the rule changes. Let's go to the second rule change. The second rule change is the hip drop tackle. Now, that is where a defensive player is wrapping his arms around the waist of the offensive player and dropping his backside to the ground, getting the offensive player's feet tangled up underneath him. That's what.
Hold on. Let me just.
That's the definition of a hip.
Let me repack this for you. All right. Anyone else there who's ever played football in your life from Pop Warner on up? Form tackle. All right, ready? Head on the ball, waist level, arms around the waist. Grab, pull down. Oh wait, that's a hip drop tackle. So now your form tackle, with the exception of unless it's head to head, apparently, looking at the rules, because side and back can't be. So only head to head. As long as you are 100% head to head with the opponent, can you tackle them. Anywhere else, you've committed a penalty, back 15 yards. Because, the NFL likes football. Hey, you know what we should do? I've heard this really cool style of football they started playing in this weird part of the world. What they do is they have these cool little banners that hang off, little like flowery banners off all the players. And then they don't get hurt because they just pull on these little banners and they go, I got him. And everyone's down. Everyone's, oh my God, you got him. We're going to stop what we're doing. We're going to line up again. And, they realize like their O linemen, when they hike the ball, and the D linemen, they play patty cake because they're not actually allowed to rush each other. So yeah, I think that's a great style of football that I think we'll see adapted to our new football league. I mean, National Football League, new flag football league, whatever it is, as it's going to become. So we're going to be there soon.
Yeah, I don't feel as strongly as Mark does about this situation. I just feel like it's another dumb way that they can throw another flag to change the style of the gameplay. That's all I think that was.
All I know is that, like, how long have we been told you can't wrap up around the legs anymore, right? Because you're going to tear ACLs. And you can't go high because that's concussions.
No horseback collars or whatever.
No horse collar tackles. No rodeo tackles. No, you know what? And now just no tackles, because if you fall to the ground, you drop your hip, and it is now a penalty. So I guess standing, we might as well start. You know what? We have to adapt hockey rules. We need to check each other. Just knock them over, and you can't fall. If you fall, it's a penalty because your hip touched the ground. Just check them. As a lot of the madhood would say, which always drives me nuts, they say truck stick them, which is, trucking was actually the idea of the move and the mentality. The stick was which joystick it was, but people didn't catch on, and so they literally would hit people. Say, I truck sticked you. I'm like, you trucked them. Oh God, listening to people my whole life saying they truck stick or juke stick somebody. I'm like, it's just a term. You're adding the language they added just to make you knew to use this stick instead of a button, but you're too dumb to separate that. And it's half the people I know. So, hey, that's my rant for you.
Wow. Wow. Mark, thank you for telling us how you really feel.
You're welcome.
Yeah, you really do. You really dial it in. You dial it in. You give us everything. Yeah, they are trying to prevent. They are trying to prevent
injuries.
Football.
You do. When I don't know. There's games where there's times where I've seen a player just like almost lift his waist up and just try to drop down on the player. I think that's what they're trying to be. That's the hip drop tackle.
That's how AJ got hurt in the last game of the season.
Yes, thank you, Miguel. That is exactly how he got hurt.
They're defining it as anywhere you wrap your arms around their waist, side or back, side or back, and then drag them to the ground.
Right.
Which, it's crazy because it's like tackling them. You drag them to the ground.
I think it's more
tackle.
egregious.
I
That's
think-
an egregious thing.
I feel like if you're running behind the ball carrier and you wrap your arms around them, and then you drop your hip, that's a hip drop tackle. If you're face to face with the ball carrier,
well, yeah, no, they said the face to face you're
you
fine.
spear them down to the ground. That's a different form of tackle.
Well, face to face is fine. However, they're going to call you for spearing, or if you go too high, you're going to hit high. And if you hit too low, you'll hit too low. So you have to really pick how you hit, and you can't lower your head because then it's spearing. So you're limited to about a 5-foot box. Make that a 1-foot box because you can't hit the rest of the body, and you have to do it the exact right way. Any other way would be a penalty. However, I would like to know if someone is catching you from behind, how would you like them to tackle you? Because they don't like the shoestring tackles.
No.
You
So
can't go for legs.
So if you
push down.
So if you're told to go to the hips, it's almost like
what's
you
the
can no
over
longer
under
tackle from behind at
what's
all.
the over and under of how many of these penalties are going to happen in the first game of the season?
I feel like it'll be strictly enforced the first 2 weeks. They'll see that it's changed the
ruining
pace
the
of the
game.
Yeah, and then they'll go back to normal play calling. That's what I feel like.
They'll say, wait, every single tackle is a penalty. Yeah.
Right. Well, we'll see a lot of it. Probably we'll see a lot of it in preseason,
Right.
and they're going to have to adjust before the first.
I don't
game of
remember
the
when
season.
it was. I remember at one point, I think it was an owner proposed it. I think I got shot down pretty quick, but they proposed the idea of banning like gang tackling. Like had to be a one-on-one. It could not have others join in. I'm like, no. Like, tell me you're a bitch without telling me you're a bitch.
I think the XFL might have had something like that where you couldn't gang tackle like
stupid.
that.
We fail. The Eagles fail miserably at tackling as it is. We need
especially our secondary. That's another thing.
Yes.
But back to this. Right back to this kickoff thing. I just found something. Maybe it'll. It's a long paragraph. With stick
Go
in
for
there.
it.
Under the new rule, the kicking team's kicker will continue to kick from the 35-yard line. But rather than be flanked by his teammates, the rest of the kicking team will be lined up at their opponent's 40-yard line, eliminating the traditional running head start. The returning team will field up to two returners in the backfield, and the rest of the team will be lined up in a new setup zone between the 30 and the 35-yard line. Besides the kicker and the returners, no players from either side will be allowed to move until a returner touches the ball or the ball hits the ground. Fair catches in which a returner could signal that they would catch the ball but not attempt to return will no longer be allowed. Another major aspect of the change is that the elimination of the team ability to call a surprise onside kick, a special form of kickoff in which a team attempts to kick the ball to one side. You know what a kickoff is, guys. Because onside kicks are typically unsuccessful, they are usually relegated to desperation scenarios at the end of the game, but teams have occasionally opted to take their opponents by surprise by attempting an onside kick early in the game. That option is now gone, as teams must announce an onside kick attempt in advance.
That changes the game right there.
Wait. So
onside kicks are no longer surprises.
But does it matter? If they're not going to change the rules of the onside kick, the ball has to go 10 yards, right? Kicker lines up at 35. The runners start the opposing 40. Is that not a guaranteed win every time?
I think
you kick the ball from the 30 out of the 45, and your guys are going to turn around and just grab it.
No, everyone's going to line up like old onside kicks, when they do an onside kick.
That? I don't think they said that.
I guess I shouldn't assume.
Just announce, hey, we're going to do an onside kick. And they go, what are you going to do about it? Because you can't line up past the 35.
Right.
We got 10 or 15 yards on you. Easy win every time.
Well, I'm excited to see who the first onside kick is going to
be.
The
very, very first kick onside, because you guys didn't specify.
Right.
We win.
Right. That'll be interesting.
Rule change, right? Yeah, I'm diving into these. If I'm an owner in a team, if I see that and see there's nothing there, I'm exploiting that instantly.
Yeah, someone's gonna have to.
Somebody will.
Yeah, but I'd want to be the one that gets away with it. Can't call it back first time. Just like Canada likes to say, first time's not a war crime. Anyway.
What? Where did we just go?
Where are we going? Where are we going here? We're not talking about the Canadian Football League here.
No, just Canada committing war.
Just
Well,
Canada.
they weren't committing war crimes because it was the first time.
It was the first time.
The Geneva Convention was written because of Canada.
Okay.
Go ahead.
And the final third rule that was changed or added. It's the NFL has approved giving a team a third challenge if they get one of their first two correct. It used to be that if you must get both correct to earn a third challenge, but now getting one out of two correct grants you an additional challenge. What do you think that will make people want to use their challenges more?
I do. I think people will be more ballsy.
Yeah, I think it'll be something that'll help out. I mean, as bad as these refs are sometimes, man, you need that extra challenge.
All I know is remember the 1 year they changed the rule that you could challenge pass interference, and that vanished by like week 4 or 5 because the refs were getting eaten alive.
Yeah, it's, and I know I'm not sure which team brought up this rule change. It might have been the Patriots. I can't remember. I know the Eagles brought up the kickoff one. But this rule change, I think it would give more teams the opportunity to challenge the referees, and I think that's what the NFL wants. They want the teams to challenge the referees more, because if you to go 100%, it's hard, but if you go 50-50, it's a little bit better opportunity to get that third challenge. I think they want the referees being challenged more.
Why don't we just set up a proper program for the referees and have all of our refereeing done on a more consistent basis, like a book of rules we could all agree on and how they're done and how you call them. What a surprise!
Well, there is a book of rules. It's just that how everyone defines those rules.
Yeah,
is a little bit different.
What if we don't? We scale it into one and go, hey, this is how you define these rules.
People, it's like buyer beware kind of a thing. You have the referee, and the referee's going to see it one way, and the other guy's going to have another way, and it depends on who's the head referee is going to either overcall that or not.
Sounds like an entertainment business.
I mean, I don't understand why they haven't expanded. What did he say? I missed it.
He said it sounds like an entertainment business to me.
Oh boy,
man!
WWE.
WWE.
Hey, it's entertaining, isn't it?
I mean, it would be. Hey, listen, how fun would it be if you're watching, for the sake of argument, let's just say we're watching Giants Cowboys, and then you hear James Nightmares play by Meek Mill, and the Eagles team walks onto the field and spears everybody and walks out.
I mean, yeah, I'd be dope.
Yeah, they could do that.
I mean, they can technically do that. They just choose not to because they don't want you to know they can do that.
I'd be highly entertained. That'll be
highly entertaining. It would be very entertaining.
It would be.
So, I guess on a scale of 1 to 10, do you think these rules changes diminishes the game, or are they going to improve the game? Scale of 1 to 10. 10 being definitely going to improve, or 1 it's detrimental. It's going to ruin the game.
The 3 new rule changes?
Yeah, are they going to help the game, or is it going to detrimental to the game?
I feel the kickoff is going to be something different. It'll give a new feel to the game. I think the other two the challenging don't really change anything. You just get another challenge, so that don't really affect the game as much to me. But the hip tackling, I feel like that'll be an issue for the first couple weeks. So on if I grade it that way, I give it like a 7, because I mean it's really not going to change much, and it's not really going to have that much of an impact.
Okay, I'm going to say Mark is not going to be that high.
Mm-mm.
Well, in other ways he is, but not in this one.
Oh,
and can you challenge the hip drop tackle?
Yeah, like
I guess you could, right, with a challenge.
Oh, you can't challenge pass interference anymore.
Yeah.
Oh.
So I want to know, can you challenge it? Because if so,
which is something that's something else, and then they need to look at is that whole defensive pass interference, because they make these rule changes to appease offense because they want points on the board.
Mm-hmm.
But
Which
you don't
points were down this year, by the way.
Exactly.
Points were down.
So
it's weird. Again, it's almost like a structured set of rules that abided by like a single platform we could all agree on would make more sense.
But I mean,
yes,
that's not how America works.
This isn't America. This is the NFL. This is an entertainment business.
This is an entertainment business.
It's America.
I don't know.
The Constitution does not apply.
I think it's going to, like Miguel, like the rules challenge, like the changes in the rules are going to they make them to improve the league, not to make it worse. And so I think these rules changes are going to make the league better. The kickoff is going to be more fun to watch. If tackling, no one's going to get hurt, because apparently people were getting hurt with these tackles. And so the challenges, maybe like I said, maybe they'll want to challenge more often now. So I think it's going to improve the game.
If these penalties are called as significantly as previous rule change penalties have been, this will absolutely ruin the game. It'll be boring to watch, and frankly, I'll be happy to not be watching some of them. If they are not, and they are truly treated only in the bizarre extent that someone to wrap someone up and then just become dead weight and not in any way use force to tackle somebody, because I've never actually seen anyone just dead weight try to tackle. They usually try to use some form of force, like putting your leg down or something. But if that is truly, they're only being limited to that, it won't be as detrimental. I do believe the challenges actually bring a bigger impact than people know. I think it's going to be a positive one, though, because the refs suck and we need to put them in their place, because we don't have a rule book that we can all abide and agree upon that follows simple standards of what is and aren't things to be called, but weird. Teach the refs they suck by adding more challenges. I like that. The kickoff, I think it'll be exciting for maybe a week or two until it reaches a point where, as normal, the kickers just kick it out of the back of the end zone and nothing changes, except that people stand still. I'm going to give the overall changes at the moment, until I see further notice, a 4.
4. Yeah, I would say a little bit higher than that, 7. I'm probably a 7 with Miguel. A 4. Okay.
Mike, let's, Mark sounds like he's on the edge. Let's push him over. Push him over, Mike. Push him over.
So the Eagles are opening up this season in Brazil this year. There's been talks of who the Eagles are going to be playing, and so right now they're saying the Browns, but now there's talks, you said, Miguel, that they could be the Packers.
Yeah, I'm hearing Packers.
But there is one thing that's sure, that's going to be played and aired on Peacock, exclusively on Peacock. Miguel or Mark, do you guys have any feelings about the way this is going to be played out on Peacock? Miguel, do you want to go first, or should we let Mark go?
Mark, please have the floor.
Mark, you've got it. Let's hear you can. I know you really want to enjoy this first game of the year, but seeing the Eagles are going to have a really great year with Saquon, you're definitely going to want to watch that first game, right, Mark?
As an Eagles fan, I hope they have a phenomenal game. As a fan of the league and wanting to watch these games, anyone who tunes into that game on Peacock deserves to watch their team have the worst season of their entire lives, and deserves to pay exorbitant amount of money to watch those games as they burn up in flames, because you are helping form another obnoxious monster that we have to deal with in this world. You see, a few years ago, the NFL decided to solely air their Thursday night games on Amazon Prime. At first, some people complained. People said, like everyone has Amazon, and the Thursday night games suck, so no one really matters. Yeah, that's where it started. Now suddenly, primetime games and NFL playoff games are saying, well, you got to pay a little extra to see this because this entertainment's just that much better. You're going to buy into this. The more we do, the more they'll take. If you give an inch, they'll take a mile. One game this week is on Peacock. All right, well, next year, 2, 3, 4 games are going to be on Peacock. Before you know it, every other game's we have a different streaming service. People are already bitching at the fact that Disney's gone up and Netflix has gone up. I'm not paying for every other industry little, we want to make our own for our library worth of shit. I don't have Peacock. I'm not getting it. I'm not going to get any of it. I didn't Paramount Plus, any of these little side ones they've created to try to take a piece of the pie. Sucks to suck. You're not getting my money. Netflix was a new thing when it came out. Fine. I was willing for that. Amazon was just part of an already great and exorbitant monopoly of sales. It's there. We're a part of it already. I didn't ever do Hulu till it got bought by Amazon. Didn't do ESPN Plus.
Hulu got bought by Disney.
That's what I meant. Bought by Disney. Didn't do ESPN Plus till it got bought by Disney. Just because it's part of the world. Am I there? I'm not spending money on these little extra network balonies. The only ones that have ever been known to be subscribed to, HBO, which was always a subscription only. I guess the others, what was it? Cinemax and there's another one. I don't have that one, or Stars.
Showtime, Stars.
They
Epic.
started this and it was like, all right, their side stuff. You don't need their stuff. Now Apple has it. Now YouTube has it. Now Paramount has it. Now NBC has it. All these extras. And they're trying to just get every dollar they can. Guys, we don't need to give them all. I already honestly tell people don't watch these extras anyway. Like Netflix was an original. Yeah, you don't want it to be Monopoly? Fine. Disney's up there anyway as it is. Amazon's up there. It's bad enough as it is, but don't keep fueling this fire that's making things worse. I am not going to start paying $8, $9, $10 every Sunday to watch the Birds. I already pay enough just to have TV. I already pay enough when I pay the extra for the stupid Sunday ticket because I want to watch other games. Now you're going to make me pay for Sunday ticket, pay for my TV, and pay for another streaming service each and every week? No, I'm done with it. I'm not watching the opening game. And like I said, anyone who does in an area in which they pay for it, you're a problem. You're a real problem.
I don't think that Mike or Mark, no matter how you think, this is the way that these companies are going to move now.
You want to bet?
We lost Mike.
I guarantee you.
There's no way that
if they come back
NFL,
with the worst
NBA,
viewership
MLB,
numbers, they will not do it.
They will. You know why?
No, because they like money.
Accessible on their phones.
But it doesn't matter.
Nobody's home. You can still watch the game on your phone. No matter what you say, no matter how much you complain, no matter how much you don't pay, they're still going to move in that direction.
No, they're not.
They
only
will
move in that direction because they're getting more money. Trust me, only way that these companies work is through their pocketbook. If you go, nope, and don't watch, and they don't make the money because their ad views tank, they can't do that again. That's too risky. I'd rather have maybe a good portion of the people tune into it free, only paid for by the network ads, versus, I'm guaranteed this money from these viewers. Oh, wait, they're not here, so I'm not getting the money.
You're right that if that's you boycotting it, and people do that. That is true. That is capable. People are capable of doing that, and you can, by all means, do that. I have Peacock. I'm going to watch it.
Yeah, but
no problem.
There's a small percentage of you. You know what I mean? Look, fucking
but it doesn't need
WWE just got paid $5 billion for Netflix. Come on, like everybody's moving in that direction. Like everything. The funny part is, it's all going to come full circle. Cable's going to come back eventually.
It's going to implode.
It's going to be in a different way to get to it.
All I'm saying is that
I'll just give you my password. You can just watch it.
I don't want to. If I'm saying everyone just skip watching one game. Just don't watch one game that's overseas anyway. Just turn it off. No one watch it. They'll notice the difference.
Mark, you sound like the old guy on the lawn, screaming. You know what I mean? Like, because I've heard a lot of people say this about, especially baseball. I got guys. I always tell you, I always listen to a lot of New York sports talk radio. When the Yankees moved over to the Apple TV and they moved those small percentage of games to Apple TV, the phone lines on those radio stations blew up of people complaining.
They lost it.
About it. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but guess what? They're still there. They're not going back
because everyone paid. They said they were mad about it, but they still paid.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well,
you need to not pay.
When you want to see your team play, what are you going to do?
Watch them next week when they're back on regular television.
And I'm pretty
happens when
sure
they
this
go-
is going to be on NBC 10 too. You're going to be able to watch it in this area.
I'm sure you will locally. You'll probably be
Yeah.
able
They
to
better
watch it.
be. Like,
But
they said
what happens?
exclusively, but
What
if it's
happens
not,
when the NFL moves to that type of
they're
Platform?
literally already
platform.
at that platform. It's called Sunday Ticket.
No, that's
Now, when is this game?
Sunday.
The game is September 6th.
Which
Yeah,
is
the first
a
game of the season.
It's a
It's a Thursday.
it's a Friday, I believe.
okay. I'd say because I'm pretty sure by contract they can't do it to a Sunday game
Yeah, it's
because I think you get a whole lot of shit for the people who already
Yeah.
pay a fortune for that.
it's a Friday night game.
Well, when those
Gotcha.
contracts run out, eventually that's what they're all going to lean towards. Look
But
at
they just did. They literally like Sunday Ticket just ended. I'm still shocked that Sunday Ticket is how it is when they develop NFL Plus, which I will say has ruined that stupid app for me because every single ad now is behind a fucking paywall. Drives me nuts. But I was banking. I said, watch, the contract is going to end with Sunday Ticket, and NFL Plus is going to have it as our NFL Plus Premium, or whatever is going to be their version of Sunday Ticket, right in their own app, aired across their own thing. And I was absolutely blown away when they ended up signing with YouTube. I really thought they were going to keep it all in house, just generate all their own money.
they probably will eventually. They'll just when they're using YouTube as a platform to get geared to that next step.
I do agree because I think they did like one or two games like when they first came out on NFL Plus that were like you could watch them through the app. I think they were using it to test traffic and to test like how their systems are holding up. But I agree. I do think once the contract is up with YouTube, I think that's where it's going to go. I'm still shocked that it just didn't go there right away.
Look at FanDuel. FanDuel, certain basketball games, if you have bets on, you can watch them on the FanDuel app.
Oh wow,
Bet
really?
50 cents on every game. It's a lot cheaper than paying for anything else.
Yeah, I mean, hey,
Oh man,
That's pretty cool. If as long as you're betting on the game, you can watch it on their app.
you can watch it on their app.
Wow,
Damn.
that's
If it does-
right.
pretty.
Broadcasted, yeah. I'm not
That's
sure,
pretty-
because I noticed it when it was like bigger games, not the smaller games. So I'm not sure
Yeah.
how smaller games will work out. But
Still, that's pretty wild.
I mean, the biggest game of the season is like, oh, it's on Apple TV only. And you're like, 25-cent bet says it's not. Like, here we go.
I mean, I told you guys I haven't ever since Thursday Night Football's moved to Prime. I still don't have Prime. I haven't watched a Thursday night game since they took it off of CBS that one year because they had it semi-casted, right? They had CBS and then they had it on the thing.
I mean, like I said, I already have Prime. That's something I had long before they made any deal with the NFL, so it didn't affect me as much. But which is why you guys are in different boat than I am with Peacock. But I do see the stress behind it. But yeah, that's why I'm going to be like this. You know what? I ain't watching any of the other games. They're going to be aired exclusively on some bullshit paywall. This is not OnlyFans. This is the NFL.
Yeah.
I'm not paying extra to watch every single game. You're out of your mind.
Well, the invitation is open, Mark. You can come over to my house, watch it on by Peacock, and we're good to go.
No Diddy.
Nope.
All right.
Sit
Speaking
down
of-
and watch whatever else I want to watch on Friday night because I ain't doing that shit.
Speaking of exclusive rights, Amazon. There's a chance. Andrew Marchand of theathletic.com wrote an article or it specified that it's possible that Amazon is going to replace RG3 with one Jason Kelce. He's reported. It's been reported on CBS, NBC, and Amazon. They have interest in Kelce, which means that every network and broadcast channel except Fox is interested in Jason Kelce. What do you think? Would you like to see Jason Kelce on Thursday night prime time football?
Miguel would.
Miguel wouldn't be able to see it.
Yeah, I wouldn't be able to.
I mean, I'm wrong. I think he'll do a lot better than RG3.
Yeah. I'd love to see him. I do like the guy when he talks on his podcast. I like him when he does, his, whatever his speeches are. I think he's a good guy. I think he'll be a really great fit in prime time, and
I did too.
people would tune in to see him too.
I'm not downplaying what RG3 does or doesn't know. Like, he was a quarterback for the longest time. I'm sure he knows the game inside and out. But I just think Jason Kelce brings a different view of the NFL and in a more entertaining way. I'd be very much interested to see what he's like as a broadcaster.
Will say, as 39 games tend to go, I almost hope he doesn't do that gig because they're usually garbage games.
Yeah, very true.
But that's the reason why they would bring him on, because they are and it's more entertaining.
Well, can he rip his shirt off and start drinking with fans? That would be a good time.
Yeah.
That would be awesome.
I will say, I'm kind of.
Oh, why didn't Fox hire him? They could have gave him what was the guy from the Baltimore Ravens that used to do the
Tony
sideline?
Siragusa.
Yeah, they could have gave him that spot.
I was actually about to say, I'm kind of surprised. Like, I'm not surprised that Fox is the only one that isn't interested, because their cast lineup as it is just, they have so many people. They really need to start cutting back people. They can't really.
Well, they will, because this is the year that Tom Brady's going to come on, and
there's so many. Fox NFL Sunday has like 8 hosts.
They have a lot of people over there. But I think Tom Brady's going to be in the booth though.
Yeah.
Okay. So I think he's going to take Greg Olson's job.
Damn.
Not much of a loss.
Yeah,
that's funny.
But yeah,
speaking of Jason Kelce, of course, we all know Jason Kelce is the host of the New Heights podcast with his brother Travis, and they recently had Saquon Barkley on.
I did miss it.
You missed it. Well, I'm gonna play. I'll play the clip right now.
Wait, before you play that, Mike.
Okay.
I heard this interview, and I wasn't really expecting to hear much, but the way Saquon talked made me so much more excited for this upcoming season. Like, this guy, he sounds like he's comfortable where he's at. He sounds like he's coming in to prove a point, and I think he might be able to talk Jason Kelce out of coming retirement.
The quote. So Jason Kelce is talking to Saquon Barkley about this new year for the Eagles, and Jason Kelce says it's going to be so much fun to watch.
Mm-hmm.
And Saquon's Barkley response was, "You don't just got to watch,
Yeah.
You can come back and play.
Yeah.
You can come back on a veteran's minimum and come back and play, Jason. You could do it. Yeah, who's to say that he doesn't come back halfway through the season? That, hey, we need you, and are you still in shape? Can you go?"
Well, my sources at the time that Jason Kelce, the weekend before he announced his retirement, I was told that the reason why he wasn't going to come back was because that he just feels like his body can't do it anymore. Like, his brain mentally, he wants to do it. He wants to be there, give it another go. Mm-hmm. He says his body is not there with him. So I don't think it's going to happen.
I know, but boy, man, wouldn't it be great to have Jason Kelce with Saquon in the backfield? Like, I really think Saquon's going to have a year. He's going to have a year that he's never played on a team that has this kind of caliber of players.
Well, running back anyway.
Well, yeah. Well, quarterback. He's never had a quarterback the way he's got. He's never had wide receivers. I'm talking about Saquon being on a team with all these weapons. With all these weapons that Saquon's going to have around him, it's going to be something special to watch, I think.
I don't know. I got some hot takes about it, but I'll wait for you to find yours.
Speaking of hot takes, as you know, we do have a voicemail bag. If you want to come and leave a message, it's 267-293-6963. We have a message. I'm going to play it right now.
Saquon will get hurt week 1, season over. Bye.
Okay, so there it is. Saquon gets hurt week 1, year's over. Bye. That's cool. That's a quick take right there. That's a 4-second take.
It must have been a Giants fan who was bitter about the way Saquon, or where Saquon left to, instead of retiring or whatever. You sure it wasn't Tiki Barber that called?
Yeah, it may have been Tiki Barber. Yeah, that's what that was. Yeah. It's Tiki Barber. I think he's so sour about it. But this fan of an Eagles fan or a Giants fan, it's pretty already set that Saquon's going to get hurt Week 1.
He's a dickhead. He's not playing on MetLife Field. He'll be okay.
Well,
And go ahead, Mark.
you mentioned it, and now it's bothering me. What's the field like down in Brazil?
What's the field
There's
like
a
in
soccer
Brazil?
field.
Yeah, but is it a good field? That's my question.
Oh, yeah.
You know, I hope so. I don't know. But
Brazil's
I will
got
say,
the number
look,
one soccer team in the
that
world.
doesn't mean it's a good field.
According to some people. Yeah, it does.
Either way. Look, I obviously I don't agree with this per se. I think week 1 we're fine. I think actually what's going to happen more is more likely we're going to see we as fan base are going to be annoyed if we're going to see a struggling Eagles team like week 1, week 2, and they'll start to pick it up like week 3, week 4. They'll start hitting that hype or that 5, 6, 7, just going to a nice train like yes, and then he's going to get hurt. And we're going to see a trickling effect the rest of the season with a slight comeback at the end. Because it's entertainment, baby.
I sent this to our chat, and at 6 years of Saquon playing, he played in 2018. He was a rookie. He played 16 games. The following year, 2019, he played 13. 2020, he played 2, but that was a weird year, so you got to throw that out. 2021, he played 13. 2022, he played 16 games. In 2023, he played 14 games. That doesn't tell me an injury-prone running back at all. In my mind, that does not say that.
Yeah, because what was it? That was that ankle the 1 year.
Yeah, like a high ankle sprain. You know, we've talked about that before.
Yeah.
It could be dealt because of that field too. So he's on a fresh field. It gives, because look, we saw that one play where Lane Johnson, he said, if I was on any other field, my career would have been over. And you saw his leg get like snapped back because of the field. So, this field might give him more longevity, at least for the next 3 years.
Yeah, it might. I don't know. I think it's a sour grape Giants fan or Jets fan, who, depending on how you look at it, because just because Aaron Rodgers went down the first 4 plays of a game, I mean, you got to wish it on somebody else. But
thanks for leaving a message. Appreciate it. We want to hear everything and anyone who wants to talk, Eagle fan or not.
Yeah, please feel free to call in.
Yep.
He does sound a little injury prone to me, not gonna lie.
How?
He's played one complete season?
2.
Two.
Yeah, but you can't count 2020. You can't count that.
Why?
Because nobody was playing.
All the COVID protocols and all that bullshit.
Everybody was missing games
because
all
of
over
the
COVID
place.
and stuff.
Yeah.
He played his rookie year, full season rookie year, full season in 2022. He missed 3 games in 21. He missed 3 games in 23, and he missed 3 games in 2019.
I'm sorry. Look, you can't say I'm going to throw out the 2020 season when he tore his ACL. That injury is very important.
He tore his ACL, but it's still you
can't just go.
I'm throwing it out.
It was off. You're throwing it out.
It's
one of the biggest injuries a running back can have. You can't just throw it out.
But then he didn't miss many games after that.
But
13, 16, and 14.
It's been 3 seasons, so you tore your ACL. Yeah. I mean, how people have torn their ACL and come back and been legit?
Carson Wentz did it, and he didn't come back legit.
Well, that's
most players don't come back the way they were. That's why it's so important. But it doesn't mean you just throw it out of the consideration.
I am throwing it out.
He's torn the ACL, sprained the MCL, multiple times damaged ankles, both sides, sprained elbow. Like, his ankles and joints are taking some hits. All I'm saying is
on a terrible field,
that he still has to play on twice or at least once this year.
Maybe he won't play that last. Maybe it'll be that last game of the season. He doesn't even have to play.
If you think for a second that Saquon is not going to try to play in front of the Giants fans, you're out of your mind.
That game's going to happen way early in the season, by the way. They're not going to have it Christmas Day this year. It's going to be week
That's what I
4,
mean.
week 5.
Yeah, you're going to see that hype train going in week 5, week 6. Like, we got it. New York Giants coming in.
Hip drop
By the way-
tackles, hip drop tackle here, hip drop tackle there.
By the way, how is it so crazy that the NFL is just deboing the NBA out of the Christmas Day games?
There's going to be 2 Christmas Day games. They're
I've
like,
heard
"Well,
3.
Screw it, 3. I
I've
was
heard
reading
3.
2. They don't even care what they don't care what the attendance was. So they don't care. They're just going to go and do it anyway. That's messed up.
See, here's
Yeah,
my
man.
problem. While the NFL might be an entertainment business, the NBA feels like an entertainment business. Nobody cares about the NBA December Christmas basketball game. They don't care anymore.
I do.
you?
I
you?
do. I watch.
'Cause
Especially
think
if the
about it.
Sixers play.
Yeah, all right.
Exactly.
And how many of the players are
usually
going to
a
take the
6
day
game
off
that-
because they don't need to be in that game?
What?
How many players are going to take the game off because I don't need to be in that game? I could be with my family. I don't want to,
Who doesn't want to
risk
be
injury.
playing national televised game?
While it's barely getting views because the NFL's on.
I mean, I'm sure they'll arrange a schedule in a way that everybody.
It'll
can-
balance out. It'll balance
Yeah.
out.
It's not worth watching.
You're
Okay. well,
talk about
You
the
are-
like.
Yeah.
Wow,
I'll take another
the,
comment, bro. Like you
wow,
are
the
something else.
grumpiest girl post today. Like,
I'm not
wow.
being a grump. I just say I hate that they're trying to like weasel more money out of us all the time. And I'm just saying that, like, honestly, basketball doesn't need to be viewed as much as everyone thinks it does. It's
Based on sucking the
mediocre
money.
sport. Huh?
This whole country is based on sucking the money out of your pocket. Like,
Yeah,
that's what-
well, all I'm saying is that maybe they don't gotta do it every second of every day. Maybe, let us have Sunday. Like
Jesus.
church let us have Sunday. Then the NFL took Sunday away from the church, said, hey, have
You-
football. We love
you-
football. Now they're saying, gotta pay for that football.
move to Canada, Mark.
I don't want to move to Canada. God, that's even worse.
They got hockey there.
Have you seen their housing market? You thought ours was bad. They're horrendous.
This has been quite the podcast that I did not think we were going to have, but I've enjoyed it very much.
Talk about entertainment. We watched
This-
Mark go from a face to a heel, and those are wrestling terms. If you're not aware, and really quick.
Yeah, I never thought we would have any heels on this podcast, and now we have one.
Right. Jeez. Anything else you want to get off your chest about the NFL, Mark?
Anything.
Go Birds.
Go Birds. Thank you for listening. We appreciate you listening and hanging in here with us. I know the stories are far and few between for the NFL, but I'm glad you're here listening, and it's been fun talking to you guys about what we
Appreciate
have
you.
been talking about. That'll do it for me. I'm Mike, Miguel, Mark. Thanks, guys.
You already know how we do. EAGLES.
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 Go Birds.
Go Birds. Hey, Mike. I don't know what type of music to play this time.